Welcome to the Robbie Rowe Show. I am your host, Robbie Rowland. You are listening to episode 65 with Nick Kingham. Let's hear a soundbite from Nick.
I think I took pressure off myself and really just started believing in myself and just trusting myself and going forward. And then I started seeing results. And then with results, obviously the best way to gain confidence is success. So then that just kind of compounded on each other. And I said, you know what, dude, like maybe I'm okay. I'm a little bit better than I thought. But then I didn't try to overdo it. I didn't try to put pressure on myself and do too much.
May I have your attention, please?
You're right, neither.
Now listening to Clear the Mechanism.
The Robbie Rowe Show.
The Robbie Rowe Show.
Yo, what it is? What's Gucci? I don't think I ever say that. Sorry. Anyways, it's your boy, Robbie Rowland, the Robbie Rowe Show. First and foremost, thank you guys for tuning in, right? I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for tuning in to another episode. I appreciate you guys' support, appreciate your love, appreciate the guys and girls, especially that reach out and like holler at me on Instagram saying, hey, just listen to your pod. It's great. I love it. Dude, you guys have no idea how much I love that stuff. So, no disrespect to those who don't reach out and say something, but just extra kudos to those who do. So anyways, Nick Kingham on the show today. Nick and I would say like Nick's probably one of my bestest friends. I think that's 100% fair to say. We have some history as far as we were both committed to the University of Oregon, the 2010 recruiting class out of high school. We ended up not going to Oregon. We both signed out of high school. I got drafted by the D-backs. He got drafted by the Pirates. I got traded over to the Pirates in 2012. That's when I officially met Nick in West Virginia. And, disclaimer, if you guys want to like skip ahead, I want to say to like maybe minute 12 or like 15 of this show, because the beginning of the show is really just spent like Nick and I kind of just joking around. Like we both have obviously very loud personality, sense of humor, whatever you want to call it, but tell some stories in the beginning. But don't let that fool you as far as like the information that you'll receive from this podcast. I do want to kind of share some quick things before I turn it over to the interview, but Nick has experienced like the full ride, the full everything that baseball really can offer professionally. He's experienced it. So in 2012, when I met Nick, he had the stuff that was like top of the line rotation guy. Was just dude. He was disgusting. But when we played together, he struggled. So in 2012, he struggled, and then towards the end of that year, he kind of found himself again. But I want you guys kind of to take note some of the things that he says about that time, because we can all learn something from the moments of our lives when we're failing or we're underperforming. And I want you to take note of as far as what Nick is saying specifically about that time, and then how he kind of got out of the rut that he was in, and how he continued along that path and allowed that to catapult his 2013 season into a really, like, in my opinion, we played together in 2013 as well, and like that was a complete breakout year for him. Like put himself, like he was drafted high, so he's a prospect, but that 2013 year, man, it was fun to watch. But so going back to kind of Nick experiencing the full thing was, then he gets very close to making the big leagues and then has Tommy John surgery. He ends up missing like close to 2 full calendar years. So take note what he kind of says throughout that process. It's always a tough process to go through when you can't play the game you love. And then the big thing is we talk about his major league debut, the call up, the emotions, all that. Nick took a perfect game into the 7th on his major league debut. I'll link some articles from that day into the show notes so you guys can take a look. But I think he like broke some records. It was absolutely amazing. But big, just a real fun episode today. A lot of good nuggets for you guys. A lot of humor. A lot of jokes that'll probably go over your head, but it was fine. Nick and I are boys, so it was great catching up with him as well. So he's actually pitching today, March 6th. Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, want to thank a sponsor of the show. You guys hear me talk about them a lot. Pocket Radar, huge fan, big believer in owning your numbers, knowing your numbers, and really just holding you accountable for specific types of training. So, if you're regulars to the show, I apologize if you guys hear it over and over again, but if I'm passionate about something, I am going to say it over and over again, and of course they're a sponsor of the show. So I'll link the links. I'll link the link to Pocket Radar and the products in the show notes. But if you want to just go to pocketradar.com and then at checkout, I can save you I think it's like $40. I can save you $40 on a model. Robbie 10, ROBBY 10 at checkout. Save you, I think it's like $30-$40, but hey, better than nothing. But appreciate Pocket Radar for sponsoring the show and actually just having a really, really good, solid product that not only shows you like throwing speed, from a pitching standpoint or infield, outfield, exit velo too. I was on the phone with the one of the guys that works in the company, and he was like, dude, we have more hitters buy these things than we do pitchers. And I thought that was just baffling. But I guess it's 2019, like exit velocity is freaking important as well. So yeah, who would have thought? Anyways, thanks Pocket Radar, and thank you guys for tuning into this episode. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise my introductions are usually not this long, but without further ado, let's get to episode 65 of The Robbie Rowe Show with Nick Kingham of the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're live. F it.
We're live.
We'll do it live.
2 weeks left.
All right. So, welcome. For those of you who are listening, I got my boy Nick Kingham on the frickin' radio dial? No. On the mic? Are you wearing a mic over there? Or no? Are you just...
Oh, you do need me to have a mic on. I can go get one. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Well, actually, you sound pretty decent over there. So as long as
definitely think that... No, that's me. That's not the phone. That's me. That sounds good.
Well, you do kind of always sound good and look good. Yeah. We should do a visual podcast just so the audience knows how good looking you are.
A video podcast? Is that what's it called?
A video podcast?
I don't know. Is that what you said? Basically, intentional talk. Yeah.
Are you putting in headphones?
I'm walking to get them right now.
Okay. So for those of you listening, Nick Kingham on the show. I'd say we're boys. Yeah, like that's
for sure, boys. Yeah,
we're boys. I got your wedding invitation.
I heard it.
Are you having a wedding in the Dominican?
That's the thing. Yeah.
What? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. So
was that a mutual decision, or was that like all you?
Okay. Hold on, I'm plugging in my headphones right now, and I'm gonna story tell real quick.
Cool, man.
Here it is. Boom. And
if
we're
these
live.
sound worse, you're gonna have to.
Do I sound better?
Oh my gosh, you sound so crisp right now.
Okay, so yeah, we're live, locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Okay, so wedding.
Dominican.
Every girl's dream is to have a beach wedding, right?
No.
So, okay, never mind.
What's
Maybe
a girl?
Just my fiance. So she wanted a beach wedding, so we started looking at places. She's from North Carolina, and Hickory, North Carolina. So we started looking in places in Myrtle and some other beachy places.
So
it was
one
really
place.
expensive. Yeah, I don't know. It was expensive, and she didn't really see anything that she loved, fell in love with. So I go, hey, what about like out of the country, and keep it real small, intimate, just have family come and close friends.
Mm-hmm.
So we started looking at Mexico, and she liked that idea. She was all in on it. But then it was like, I don't know if it was, she didn't feel safe or something, because, Mexico can be scary at times. So she said, okay, how about the Dominican instead? I said, oh, sure. I don't know if it's worse or more safe. I don't know, but I'm in with whatever you want to do. And so whatever she wants to do is what we decided to do. Basically, happy wife, happy life. That is a true thing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but hey, good for you, by the way. Look, like I know we're live right now, but I do want to say, man, like congratulations on that. From the bottom of my heart, man. Like it's cool because for those of you listening, I was there when y'all met. 2012, playing in
2012 in Asheville.
We were in Asheville.
We were in Asheville, man. We went to a steak and shake for our very first dinner ever. It was steak and shake.
Wow.
So real.
I wasn't there for
romantic.
that though, right?
It was that night, whatever night that was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure you were there. We were rooming all the time, so
Yeah, and
We
steak
were
and
always
shake was
roommates.
like an everyday thing for me, or Waffle House.
yeah. Oh well, you love Waffle House.
Oh, dude, how could you not?
It's fine. It's
Dude,
fine.
so all right, man. Like I said before we got on here, dude, was like, we're gonna do our best to stay on topic, but can't really make any guarantees. But I think that's gonna be authentic and it's gonna be real and it's gonna be fun. But like I said, I want to kind of dive into just the timeline of events, man, leading up to where you're at now, obviously in big league camp.
Cool. Yeah.
With Pittsburgh, shoot, man, like you got a freaking dope story. So I appreciate you coming on to tell it, man. It's about time for those of you listening, freaking this guy, I wouldn't say big league me, but like rejected my offer to come on the show previously. And
I declined. I didn't reject. I just said,
I think they're the same.
Thing.
One and the same.
Yeah,
thing.
but regretfully.
Can you
know what I mean?
Can you like elaborate on like why podcasting wouldn't be your thing? Because I feel like it's totally down your alley.
I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I would feel comfortable doing it.
That hurts my feelings, man.
No, dude, it has nothing to do with you.
It's not you, it's me.
Steve Brault and Trevor asked me to do one last year on their podcast too. So I was like, no, I even told them no at first, but then we talked about it. I go, you know what, dude? So I finally got called up, and we were in the big leagues, and I'm like in a good mood. How can you not be in the show? So
and throwing like no hitters. Yeah, I got it.
I'll do anything you want, dude. Of course, yeah. This is the big leagues. So
you went on their show?
Yeah, so I went on theirs in Chicago last year.
Dude, so this isn't your first pod.
I know. No, I know. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
But I mean, okay, back to what I was going. But yeah, so I did theirs, and I don't know if I felt good about it, felt indifferent. I just didn't have the confidence going forward. So I had to do some deep soul searching, and that brought me to here, man. So
what did you find when you went soul searching?
I found nothing really specific. I just said, yeah, I'll do it.
I found a one-seam grip for some.
Oh, yeah, and then an accidental sinker slider.
Slinker.
Slinker.
So, all right, so my audience, guys, the general outline as far as why Nick and I are talking the way we are is because, like we said, we're boys. We first got introduced in 2012. Yeah, I got traded over there in 2012.
As soon as you came over. Yeah.
Yeah, went to extended for a little bit, grinding, and then got called up to West Virginia where I met your lovely face and kind of just hit it off. I think after we kind of agreed that in and out is the best thing on earth. And then it's been up and up ever since, man. So
and also remember you were going to Oregon too, so that kind of initiated
we knew of each other.
Our fake relationship at the time, because we didn't really know each other, but we knew each other's names, and so I think that kind of helped. Bond the friendship for sure.
Can I tell a story? I think I've told you this before.
I mean, what if I say no? Are you still going to tell the story? I hope you still tell the story.
Still going to say it somehow. Yeah.
Just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
so
go ahead.
I remember because I knew like I said the Oregon connection, both going there, committed 2010 class, unreal class. We'll dive into that a little bit later on in the show about how Oregon just unreal recruiting class that year. But yeah, man, like I knew of you, and I knew like when I got traded to Pittsburgh. You kind of go through the rosters and like, okay, who do I know? Like, all right, where am I going? Type stuff. And I remember seeing your name, and it's one of those things where like, you look up, names, and you're like, hey, that sounds familiar. So I remember diving in and trying to figure out how I knew your name, and there's the connection. So when I got called up to West Virginia, I was like kind of seeking you out. Like I knew Hafner, so I was like gonna hang out with him or whatever. Then I remember like seeking you out. It was on where's the Red Sox? Red Sox.
Greenville.
Okay, yeah. We were in Green. Not good memory, man. We were in Greenville, and I remember like we were going to the bus, and I like walked up and I like pointed you out because you had the best body on the team, and I was like, okay, that's him. And I just remember like I don't want to say the wordage of like power trip, but I remember like you low key tried to intimidate me. I think
Oh, dude.
Do you remember me telling you the story like a little bit later on? How
yeah,
you like
I do.
you bowed up
I'm
and you're like,
embarrassed
"What's
that
up?"
you're telling it now.
I'm Nick,
Yeah.
and then you like tried to crush my hand, and I was like, "Yo, I got better hair than you, dude. Back up."
See, okay. Now you're just setting up an image for your listeners that,
Right.
and you're giving.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
That's
sorry.
true, man. That's a bad
Yeah.
that's a bad host on my part because now not only have I thrown you under the bus with like you rejecting my offer to come on the show, but I've also thrown this. But honestly, like no, dude, like like we freaking totally hit it off from like day freaking one, and and it was a good.
Dude, you gave me your stirrups.
Yeah, that's where I was.
You gave me your stirrups to wear.
Yeah, we had that
first
Rups.
game, dude.
Yeah, we had that Rups connection.
Yeah.
Remember when we did our Twitter giveaway, and that was one of the questions we had was like,
this
when was May? I want to say like May 23rd was when I made my first appearance. I came in relief of you, and you shoved it 6 innings. I remember that in Greenfield with my Rups.
With your Rups, and you couldn't even wear them, or you had an extra pair.
Yeah. I had an extra pair. Of course, I had
then
an extra pair.
Then we ordered the big ones. We went to the 9s.
We dabbled.
We went to the 9s, and then it's fun, man. And then Mitch banged it. Nope, no more.
Real
no more.
hard.
Either whole staff wears it.
No,
Nobody wears
remember
it.
because it was that next year in 13 where your boy got off to, like, the worst start ever, and of course, like it's the stirrups' fault, right? So,
of course, yeah.
Had to change that identity, dude. All right, so. Yeah. So first of all, we spent the first 10 minutes. Obviously, we know each other. I love you, man. And thanks for coming on the show. And like I said, we got a little general outline of where I want to kind of go with this show. Try not to take too much of your time, dude. But I want to start with a fairly popular topic regarding like your draft. You know, obviously everyone kind of has a different story to tell when approaching the draft. But you and I think kind of very similar in the regards of going into high school, our senior year, having committed to a very good baseball college, D1 in Oregon, and then, obviously going and having a good year your senior year, and then signing right out of high school to Pittsburgh. So I kind of want to dive into that, dude. Like, what was it like for you in your senior year? Like, was it a for sure thing that if you got the right money or you got drafted in the right round that you were going to sign, or was it kind of like a toss up? Like, where was your head at throughout that whole process for you in high school?
Okay. So I had a set number, I guess.
You don't have to get like personal. Yeah. I don't mean like that.
Didn't matter what round. Yeah, of course. But I mean, you set a number and saying, hey, this is what I value my college and my experience and all that stuff. So you kind of set like a rough number, and I said, if they don't meet this, then I'm going to school because I'm getting a better value in my mind, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we got drafted, went through the negotiating. It kind of took a while to get up to that number.
Hold up, back up just a little bit. Sorry for interrupting you, but like, what is that process like for you on draft day? Like, what were you, because I know how it is. Like, you're getting all these calls, you're kind of hearing a bunch of different like numbers, rounds type thing. Like, what is it for you? What are people telling you where you're going to go and what to expect approaching the draft?
Cool. Okay. So first day of the draft was just first round and supplemental round, I believe. Mm-hmm. Obviously,
June 7th. Yeah,
didn't even tune in on that one.
No
chance. Wasn't going there. So that actually, I walked. My graduation was that day, so I couldn't. So I was walking down when Bryce Harper gets taken 1-1, and but yeah, it was cool. So next day is June 8th. The draft started, I believe, at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
Eastern,
dude, it was early.
6 o'clock.
It was
Pacific.
Early. Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad. So he comes to me. He wakes
Pool guy
me up
4.
early. Pool guy 4. It's actually LV Pool Guy on Twitter. If you guys want to go follow him, LV Pool Guy. But no, so he wakes me up early. He goes, "Hey man," so cleans pools. And he goes, "Hey, dude, it'd be really cool if I think you're going to get drafted today. It'd be really cool if you come and work with me and we share like this moment together." Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, "Dad, no chance. I'm going. It's early. It's like 4:30, but whatever." He keeps. I'm like, you know what? This is only a once in a lifetime opportunity potentially.
Right.
So I said, you know what, dude? I'll go. I'll definitely go with you. The draft starts. They start second round. I'm listening. I got my headphones in and I have my phone on me just in case. I get a call or anything, so I'm listening to it, and then I get calls. Agent calls, nothing, whatever. Fast forward, fourth round comes, I believe, I was the second pick in the fourth round. And Larry Broadway calls me. Says, hey, congratulations. Yeah. Or actually, no, my agent calls me first. He calls me. He's like, oh, my gosh, what'd you tell him? Did you lower your number, all this stuff? And I'm like, no, what? No. What's going on? He goes, okay, the Pirates just took you in the fourth round. I'm like, oh, sweet. Sick. Yeah, I guess he thought I made a side deal to some of the teams or something.
Right. There's a lot of that going on. That was the old draft.
Right.
So it's
exactly. So you can negotiate, you can get overslot, and teams didn't get penalized like they do now. So that's what happened. Got drafted, spent the day with my dad. He heard the whole conversation, and we kind of shared that experience. So that was really cool, and I didn't see it at the time, but I agreed to it. Looking back, I'm so glad he pushed for it and even had that idea. Because that's something I'll cherish forever.
Right.
Going through that and just him being next to me when I got the call.
Yeah. At just 4:30 in the morning, you got to freaking wake up. First day of summer, right?
Yeah.
You walked.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just literally just graduated the day before.
That is a
first day of no more high school.
Yeah. So what when LB calls you, is he like, yo, hey, we picked you? And then does negotiating start for you right there? And again, I don't mean to get super personal. It's an interesting story of how that kind of process kind of unfolds.
Yeah. I don't mind. Yeah, I'll talk whatever about it. Yeah, I'll give whatever.
Yeah. So is it he calls you and say, hey, we drafted you and we'll be in touch as far as negotiations go? Or is it hey, we drafted you and this is what we have to offer? Are you take it or not?
No, so it was what you said first. They call, congratulate you. You're a member of the Pirates, or potentially.
Right.
We will be in touch. And they didn't say it. They didn't give me a time frame at all. They just said someone will be in touch with you to discuss negotiation or anything like that. So I didn't hear from anybody for 3 weeks. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I'm signing. I don't even know. Did they make a mistake?
What
happened?
You didn't hear for 3 weeks?
3 weeks went by.
What is your agent saying at that point?
He's saying, hey, so they'll be in touch because you have to sign the first round, second round.
Well, third. Anytime you get overslot or because no, I hear you.
So exactly. So I wanted more than slot.
Did you want to? I say this phrase loosely, but that's what we always called it was holding out, and I don't mean it as a dig on you, but did you want to kind of approach it in that way rather than signing early and then go into play potentially the rest of that summer, or did it not matter?
I didn't want to hold out, not because I wanted to get my career started. Oh, of course I did. I was excited and everything, but
right.
I just wanted to know one way or the other. Whether, okay, hey, we're not going to agree to terms, I'm going to go to college, or yes, I am going to agree, and basically I'm going to sign and start my professional career. I didn't have that confirmation until a week until the trade deadline, which was, or the deadline of, it was August 15th.
Yeah,
August 15th, and I signed on August 6th.
Right.
So so I got drafted June 8th, and I signed August 6th. So almost 2 months after I got drafted, I signed. So the whole time we were going back and forth. I didn't know. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, we're not going to meet my number. We're not going to agree. I figured, I'm going to school. So then as soon as July, I don't know, 15th, somewhere around the middle of July, I was like, dude, I'm definitely going to school. Yeah. We're not making any headway. And I was fine with not caving in either, not agreeing to something lower.
Yeah.
So that's where it was. Yeah. So I was like, dude, I'm going to school. I'm fine with it. And I
decent fallback plan.
Yeah. So I told Larry one time, I was like, hey man, I don't think we're gonna agree. I'm fine with it. I'm just gonna plan on going to school. And this may be the last time we talk. And he goes, okay, well, if anything happens, this isn't over yet. You'll hear from us. So then we finally came back and we got the deal done and I got going.
Yeah, because there's a certain point there where, because the good thing for you was you understood that, hey, if I have a number, then realistically any team that drafts me is gonna give me a fair shot at offering me that number rather than really going in blind as far as okay, we don't really know what the guy wants.
But just because I know the number doesn't mean
so it's for you in that point. They
can draft you and still lowball you and the whole time with no intention of ever meeting you, just trying to get you at a discount, basically. You know?
Right. And so my question to you, knowing what I know now about like Pittsburgh, because dude, they freaking pay guys, especially high school arms, out of the draft. Like, did you know that going into it? Like, I'm sure your agent maybe hinted at that a little bit, right?
He mentioned that they are willing to overpay a slot, but they didn't. See, my draft was like the second draft year, I think, from the new management, because Neil Huntington, Frank Coonley, they just got hired in 2008, so they missed that draft. 2009 was their first draft, and then I was the second draft under their management, basically. So we didn't really set that trend until my year, the year after me, and then even the year after that. That's when they're like, oh my gosh, dude, like Pirates, they go out and they get their big right-handed high school pitchers, and they pay for them. Yeah. So knowing me going through that process, I was in the midst of that. So no, I did not realize at the time that was what their MO was.
Yeah, dude, I was like looking back at I'm trying to think like of those draft classes, like so
Tony Sanchez, it was 09.
09 was Sanchez and like Rosie and I'm trying to think of other like so I guess Dotsy, yeah. Dude, Dotson's in like Germany right now playing ball.
Yeah, he's overseas somewhere. Yeah. I know, he's done that in the last 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, he's well, okay. So and then I'm thinking of 2000. I'm thinking of 2011. Dude, Pounders, I played with him in the fall league in 15.
Oh, that's right. Dude,
he carved it, dude. There,
bro. He's good.
He's in the show.
Good.
He's got
he's got good stuff
now. He's
with the Rockies.
Is it Rockies? I saw his name in a box score. And then
I think he's with the Rockies, I believe.
Okay. Good dude. And then 2011 was when it really became like known that that Pittsburgh kind of got it that way. But
yeah.
So back on track. Ooh, piece of candy. All right.
Score.
So okay, you don't have to like super elaborate on this, but you get what you want. You sign, and like what is the emotion there at that point where you're like holy crap, dude, I'm going to turn professional now.
So it was initially awesome. A little bit relieved, but way more anxious. I actually flew to Pittsburgh to sign my contract. They flew me out and my parents. So I signed my deal in Pittsburgh at the stadium, saw a game, got on a flight, flew down to Pirate City, and felt like my world just flipped 180. From PNC, arguably one of the best stadiums in all of baseball.
Right.
Let alone just it's the big league level and everything, but it's top 3 in my mind in all of baseball. Totally. To Pirate City, which is the chain league, is what we call it, because it's all just chain fence, and there's 4 fields, and it's just it's organized. Not Little League baseball, but like it's Sandlot baseball. Yeah.
Was that what you were thinking of?
Yeah, no, but I wasn't that in that direction yet. But I wasn't thinking that specific term. Oh. But yeah, dude, it's organized Sandlot ball.
Yeah. I thought we were on the same
So it's not what I expected at all. But yeah, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, this is pro ball.
Yeah,
I knew it wasn't glamorous, and I knew that like some people, that's the biggest the misconception that people don't understand. Minor leagues, man, it's a grind. It's not fun.
It's funny too, dude, because like you basically take the route which is, I would say, outside looking in, is the glamorous route, right? You pick professional baseball over college, which is, like I said, like I think the general population goes, dang, dude, like that's the spot. Like that's where you should do it. And in reality, you go from either walking on campus at U of O and being like freaking
getting decked out with
dude, like
gear.
University of Nike, and now you go hot route, Audible, Pirate City, cafeteria food, and key cards. So it's that's funny. I think I'm glad we brought that up on the show, because that's a funny thing to kind of bring to light. It
is wild, man. It's definitely misleading in the public eye. Oregon, they say that I've heard they call Oregon the 31st major league team, because they get treated so well at that school with gear, with the facilities, with the nutrition, the travel. They have their own plane.
Yeah.
So it's you're getting treated like a big leaguer at school. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to go grind in the minor leagues.
Grind.
Yeah.
Grind. Speaking of grinding, dude, fast forward it, Johnny, a little bit to 2012. So you and I meet in 2012, but the thing that I want to highlight, and I want to dive into a little bit of your story behind this, is like when I met you, dude, you presented A+ stuff, and I know we joked about this a lot at the time. But dude, you 3+ pitches for strikes, right? You were like 92, 95.
That's your favorite thing, man.
Dude, 100%. Like, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I hate to kind of like put you on the spot and blow you up a little bit, but like it was true for me. I remember looking at it, or remember watching you and being like, "What? Why does this guy have a 4, 4.5? Like whatever you had at the time, dude." And it was like you were 92, 95, freaking banging changeup, which was very rare, I think, for a high school arm coming out of high school in early years in professional ball. And then you had a freaking banging spike curve. And like I said, you had like a 4, and I don't mean to dog you with that stat there, but
no,
I just remember thinking
people can look it up, they can see it. Yeah,
yeah, it's on the Google machine. So I remember
it's on the back of the card. Yeah, you're not dogging, you're just reading facts.
I remember just thinking to myself, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like, dude, I'm sitting up there with like a high 80s, low 90s, like moving thing, and like kind of doing fairly well, and then you were out there just like with this stuff and like grinding, and I'm like, what the heck's going on, man? So like dive us in, man. What was going on? Like what was the adjustments in your head? Because I know you did finish that year very well. That catapulted you into a really good 2013 season, but what were some of the learning curves that you had to experience in that 2012 season in West Virginia?
Yeah, man, I started out really tough. Had the opening day nod.
Mm-hmm. No stirrups.
The first game of the season. So I was going into that season as a well-respected pitcher,
right.
and then just got off to a slow start. Never really got back. I never really found my grip until my footing, I guess. Until I don't know, midway through the season. And I don't know if it's one specific thing, but I do remember just saying, you know what. I sat down and just talked to myself basically. I was like, dude, maybe you've peaked. You've reached your highest potential. You're just not good enough to get these hitters out. That last level you were at, sure, you got them all out. And I said, I'm just going to go out there and whatever happens, happens. So I think I took pressure off myself and really just started believing in myself and just trusting myself and going forward. And then I started seeing results. And then with results, obviously the best way to gain confidence is success. So then that just kind of compounded on each other. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what, dude, like maybe I'm okay. I'm a little bit better than I thought. But then I didn't try to overdo it. I didn't try to put pressure on myself and do too much. I just said, hey, here it is, what it is. It's going to take care of itself. So it kind of fell into my lap in a way, because it wasn't like one thing that I did like intentionally, other than maybe back off, release, a little bit. Don't try to force your pitches in there. Just let it go. Let it go. Things will take care of themselves. And if things kept going the same way and I kept struggling and everything, then I would have been a little bit more at ease with it and at peace. Right. But kind of things turned. And so that was just an eye opener for me to really just let my abilities take over and just trust yourself and things will happen the way they will. Dude,
I love that, man, because I remember specifically we were in freaking Augusta, Georgia, dude. And I remember like, I don't know if it was dude, why am I drawing a blank? What was our manager name that year?
Rick Sofield.
Sofield. Oh, dude, why was I apologize if Sofield's listening to this. Like
Rick Sofield, 1975, first round draft pick, Minnesota Twins. Dude, 1975, I was good.
That's my favorite. I would say like top 3 of my favorite managers. But
dude, he was one of the smartest guys to ever be able to coach the game of baseball and the way that he did. It was he knocked on such the obvious stuff, but he gave it in such a refreshing and a unique spin.
Yes.
on the basic of baseball.
He made me really want, like, I mean, you know how it is, the grind of the season, dude. Like, but he made me like want to show up to the field and like play my freaking.
Oh my god, yeah. If you're going through the motions and everything, he'd stop you and be like, every 2 weeks you get paid to play this game.
Yep.
You are a professional. Act like it. don't ever take a step off, man. You are a paid professional. This is your job. And he was one of the first ones that really hit me in the face, like with the information.
Yeah.
That, oh my gosh, dude, this is. He had a really good way of connecting with players.
Totally, dude. And so that one particular outing I'm talking about, I remember I was on freaking camera duty that day, but I just remember like in Augusta, dude, like something clicked to where. And I know Sofield had like his sayings, right? Like too good to care, too good to care.
Yeah.
And I just remember I remember you telling me after the game, like you came up to me and I was like, because we always talk like after our outings, we freaking live together. And it was you just saying, dude, for some reason, like Sofield said it his like 900th time saying it, you just kind of took it and you were like, dude, that's so true. Like.
Yeah,
You're too good. And then I think that was like that first outing. And I wouldn't say first, but that was like the big outing for me watching you from afar. It was like, dude, swagger, like right, like swagger's back, like just the way you kind of. I remember you were up there, dude, and like a good walk-up song would come on, and you just start like nodding your head, like, and it was, dude, for me watching that, it was like, okay, this guy's back. And I think that was like kind of late in the season, like maybe late July. I know we were there for.
Yeah, I was scuffling for a while, dude. Yeah, so it was a lot longer than half the season. That's what it felt like. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, dude. But like, I just remember you totally got your swagger back, and it was like, holy frick, dude! Like this is what it was. And then, like I said earlier, it was like that catapulted you in that 2013 season, and I would say like really just for you, your breakout year. You know, I know you were like a prospect through and through. You know, early in the year or early in your career, and then that 2013, you know, we broke both of us broke Bradenton high A for the Pirates, and you kind of just. I mean, from the get-go, dude, like you took off. Like, what was the change for you that year? Was it the same mindset, or was there something different that you worked on in the off season, or kind of take us through that?
I think it was just another a year older. I kind of found myself a little bit, found my identity. Really believed in my changeup. Started throwing a little harder too, so velocity had some impact on that. I feel like my fastball would play a little bit better than the previous year, and I really, honestly, I just trusted my stuff. Like that's the number one thing, dude. Your mind is so powerful, and going into that year, coming off of a really solid second half, and I just picked up right where I left off. Now, not that I tried to, keep going, keep at it, don't miss stride and anything.
Yeah,
didn't put too much pressure on myself. Just went out. I think you actually had the first game.
Yeah,
you opened the season,
I
and
had
then
Fort Myers. Yeah. That was a stupid lineup, by the way. You remember that?
Oh, my goodness,
bro! They had like Rosario, Sano, Vargas,
Kenny's Vargas. Yeah,
Buxton didn't come till later. That
Buxton wasn't there. Yeah, he wasn't there yet. But that lineup was.
I remember thinking like because those were donkeys too. I remember like having that opening day, and I was like, oh boy. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, you really, and I think that was, it was just a culmination of a lot of different things. Like you said, you started maturing, you started having an identity as far as like how you wanted to attack guys, understanding your stuff a little bit more, understanding the game a little bit more, having a game plan going into it. I know, I think that was like one of the years, where you really started paying attention. And I'm not trying to dog you saying you weren't previously, but it was paying attention to the game within the game and kind of understanding how you wanted to go about, your business. And, shoot, man, like and again, like I said, like, it was a culmination of that, and then plus your stuff, got even better from the previous year, and it was just, dude, fun to freaking watch, man. So
you're absolutely right, dude. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of mixture things, but just growing as a person and understanding what I brought to the table, and just I feel like I knew what I did. I didn't try to be anything more than just myself. Yeah, and I think that was the key.
Which is hard too, right? I mean, like that's
my gosh,
that's a funny thing because it's like you can say that and it like it just makes totally sense. Like yeah, absolutely, duh, right? Just be yourself. But dude, like when you're in the thick of things, like especially, and I talk about this a lot on my show, dude. Is everyone's going to go through failure. Everyone's going to have to grind at some point in their life, whether it be baseball or not. And it's hard, like, because for you, it was more of a, let's take the foot off the gas and just chill and just trust my stuff. Whereas, like, you would almost think the opposite approach, where it's like, okay, I'm failing. Like, I got to try harder and harder and harder.
Yeah,
and harder.
I got to do more. I got to throw harder. I have to make this perfect pitch even more perfect. I can't miss. When, dude, sometimes, you put so much pressure on yourself and you stress yourself out and it ends up working in the complete opposite way as you wanted to.
Amen, dude.
Yeah. That's where the less is more can come into play.
Absolutely.
That's the only time that less is more.
I'm a huge more is more guy. Especially
more is always more.
Yeah, especially when I get 4x4s. I get like more.
Ooh, yeah, animal style.
Dude, we didn't even say that you're a Vegas boy. I didn't know if my audience didn't know that, I guess, so I had to throw that in there.
So yeah, Las Vegas, that's how I know In and Out. I know it's a California thing, so don't yell at me for claiming In and Out in Vegas, but Vegas is West Coast.
Yeah,
I say I'm West Coast, which is the best coast for everybody out there. Yeah.
I'm gonna use that as a soundbite for the episode. So nobody listens to it. So, all right, dude. We're gonna hit the fast forward button again. Obviously we can sit here and talk, into very minute detail about all of your years and kind of what they showed you and whatnot. But I want to fast forward. Actually, no. Let's dive in. Okay, so obviously, like with the Tommy John surgery, that's something that no one really enjoys going through that process, but I do want to talk to you a little bit about that, dude, as far as like, what did you kind of take from that whole process? You don't have to dive super into it. I don't want to depress you or anything. I know it.
No,
sucks,
I got you.
What is going through your head at that time when they say like, yo, this is what you need. And how do you kind of move forward from that, staying like confident and motivated, for the return?
I don't want to, it was a tough time, man. Initially from the time I got the surgery to the time I got back to AAA. I got hurt in AAA.
What year?
In 2015, May 7th.
Okay, yeah.
May 7th, I got hurt. I had surgery May 27th. Fast forward to my return to AAA, April 2nd of 2017. So almost 2 years. I'm sorry, May 2nd.
Why did it take so long?
The timing of my surgery.
Yeah,
I had it, and then by the time I was healthy in 16, the season ended. So I was like, "Oh, I'm ready to go back, coach." And sorry, everybody's going home. So the timing of the surgery that I had it meant that just the month that I had it in just lined up to where it was
that
really
sucks, dude.
Yeah. So it was almost 2 full years, man. So the time I was going through was obviously tough. I mean, anybody who's ever been injured, zero fun. You're in a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, mentally, especially because I was living in Florida, rehabbing in Pirate City with nobody there. We had 5 guys maybe rehabbing together. So you're by yourself a lot of the times, and everybody's at home. Everybody's with family and all that stuff, and enjoying the off season. When you're going in to the training room and doing push-ups against the wall, trying to get your range of motion back in your elbow.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a tough time, but that was, I'd say, such a redefining moment in my life, just because you become so aware of who you are as a person, physically, mentally. It just it taxes you, and you get tested so many different ways when you're
totally.
hurt. And you're 2 years it took me, so I had a lot of time to reflect and really
self-assess. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really get to know myself. So I think that was huge. And I kind of always just said it, I'm going to be more in tune with my body, and kind of for the media. But then I really started looking back. I go, wow, dude, I am.
Yeah.
I was just saying it just to say it to sound good because the reporters are there. I didn't know what else to say. But that was when I really found out myself and who I was. So that was definitely a blessing in disguise,
right.
in that aspect. And also I had JMO, unfortunately, but fortunately for me, selfishly, he had surgery the year before, but I got to rehab with him.
Right.
My whole first year, he was finishing up his rehab. So me and him, man, we bounced ideas off each other. He was my I don't know, I get my rock. You know what I mean?
This is this is Jameson
Yeah.
Tyon for those of you
correct. Yeah,
who doesn't know
Jameson. So yeah, he. Anytime I had any questions or I felt down or I was like, oh man, I feel sorry for myself, I'd look over. He just went through it. Just, Nick, shut up.
Yeah,
you know it. You're not the first guy to have it. You won't be the last.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was a tough time, but it's definitely a self-evaluating time,
dude.
and
yeah,
kind of just self-reflect.
Yeah, I think you're so right too, and that's like something that probably like the general public doesn't really understand too. Is I guess for me even right now, like I just had lat surgery, dude. I'll miss like all 2019, and it sucks, dude. But like at the same time, I think if you really want to dive deep into like the emotional state, you said it, dude. Like you have the ability to kind of take that time with you not playing the game of baseball to like understand like, okay, what is it I need that brings me happiness? Like, what are these things?
Sure.
Like, what are these anchors that I can kind of hold on to be a person, right? Because we often get stuck into a situation where we maybe, and I'm not saying you do this or I do this or whatever, but sometimes we get stuck into a situation where we identify as a baseball player. And then when that gets taken away, it's like, holy crap, dude, like my world's over.
You get caught up in it being what you are instead of just what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's always room for like self-improvement, I guess, throughout those journeys. Obviously like I don't wish that upon anyone, dude. It sucks. And it's just, it's a freaking roller coaster ride, dude. But now that we've taken down that deep, dark path, let's go to the bright path, man. Your freaking MLB debut. What's that like, man? Getting the call saying, yo, King, like, you've earned it. You're going to the show. Like, what is that like hearing that? And what was the story behind your experience getting the call?
Okay, man. So it's at first, for me, it was a shock. It was almost like, no, dude, he's just joking. But then it kicked in. It was like, dude, it's happening. Like, it's real. Luckily, they told me on a Wednesday, and it was pitched on a Sunday. So I knew 4 days in advance, 4 days. 4 days prior. So they told me just because I was starting, so I was supposed to throw my bullpen that day. And then they're like, hey, no, you're going to go up and pitch Sunday. So you're going to push your bullpen back a day. So that's why they had to tell me early. So usually it's not like that. Usually it's like, hey, you're pitching either tomorrow or you're pitching the next day. Because when you go up, it's usually either if it's predetermined, though they don't want to tell you right away because corresponding moves have to happen in the big league level.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but in my case, I was filling in. Somebody got hurt, I believe, and Sunday start came around. Or no, they went extra innings and they had to use somebody. So I was like, okay, I'm going to come in and fill in a spot.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, and so they called me in the office, told me that. And first person, I go call my dad, holding back tears, telling him.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Dude, it's freaking awesome. And then call my mom, and she's just bawling, crying. She just can't even wait. And then I call my brother, my little brother.
Little brother, huh?
Him, yeah, my baby brother. Sorry, younger brother. Yeah. So I call my younger brother and tell him, and it was just I could hear it in his voice. I mean, because we got as we got older, we got really close,
right?
And I could hear in his voice that he was just like, dude, you've been through so much. Like, this is, you deserve this so much. And coming from a brother, a younger brother who I'm supposed to be the role model to him, but hearing him tell me and like, hey man, I appreciate it, or I'm proud of you and all that stuff. It hit me in a different way.
Right.
Like, it hit me in a super special way. That it was really cool to have that moment in that dynamic.
Dude, I got like goosebumps over here, bro.
Yeah,
you're killing me with this, man.
Yeah, it was neat, man.
Oh my gosh.
And then of course I called my fiance.
Oh, we got to throw her in there.
Sorry, yeah, but I had to. She understands too. She knows that the people have been around since day one. Like my 4-year-old T-ball year.
Right.
Those taking me to practice every day, mom and them. So she understood. Right. But I called her during the day. Regular, like she's at work, and I called her. So, and as soon as she saw that I was calling, she goes, "Something's up."
Yeah.
And either something really good's happening or something bad just happened.
Yeah.
So she kind of knew as soon as she saw my name pop up on her phone that something was happening.
Right.
But yeah, so dude, it was awesome, man. It was a great feeling. It was surreal for sure.
Yeah. When did that set in finally? Did it not set in until you like got there? Because I've heard like, I mean, obviously I've never experienced that, but like just hearing other people's stories, like you get that news, obviously it's something that we strive for like our whole journey. And then when it happens, like, you said you were in shock, but like, did it set in right there, or was it like you had to get to PNC and really see the guys and then set in?
I think it set in that night. We, later on that night, like after the game, or I know we had an off day that day actually. or a day game, something. I don't remember what it was. My mind was racing.
Are you in Indy, or are you?
Yeah, we're at home. We're at home in Indy. Yeah, so yeah, it set in that day. And they told me, it was weird too. They called me in the office. The whole team's in there, and they come out, and everybody's like, "Hey, yeah, congrats!" But no, they told me in the office, they're like, "Hey, don't tell anybody yet, because another move has to happen in the big league, so somebody has to come down.
Right.
So we can't really say that you're going up yet, so keep it quiet." And I'm like, no, guys, like nothing happened. So it kind of sucked at that point. I was like, couldn't even like cheer, be happy with my teammates, because I had to keep it quiet. So that was kind of a bummer. But then I told like my couple of buddies, like, yeah, I'm going up. So then we went out like to dinner later that night, and that's when it set in.
Right.
So yeah, that was when it kind of hit me. It was like, dude, this is real.
This is, yeah, no doubt, dude. So all right, a couple things now is I want to talk obviously about like the debut. I don't know like statistically if you made history or not, but I'm assuming the only history that I really want to talk about is like you getting your debut in those Pirates uniforms they were throwbacks, right? Like you kind of
look like 79,
pretty goofy, man.
Oh man.
So that's not your call, right? Like that's totally out of your hands.
No.
What jersey?
Sundays are our throwbacks. We wear them every Sunday.
And you did the hat. The hat gets me, man. It's like the striped hat.
The hat is not the worst part. The pants, dude. They're
baggy, right?
They're drawstrings. They're like sweatpants.
They look like sweatpants. Belt.
Yeah, there's no belt, and there's two buttons like normal baseball pants, but then there's a drawstring that you have to tie.
So you don't wear a belt?
No, there's no belt, man. The belt is the shoestrings that you're tying.
Not funny, dude. The car's gone.
Dude, no, it's funny, man. Where's the car, dude? Dude, where's the car, dude?
So, right, so you pitch. What was the thing? Like, I mean, obviously you took like a no hitter into the 7th, right?
Yeah. I was perfect through 6 2/3.
It was crazy for me, dude. And I'm not trying to take attention away from you, but because my boy Luke Weaver, like, you know, one of my really, really good friends, was pitching against you that day, and it was like, I remember like looking at like when you were making the debut, and it was like you versus him, and I was like, wait a sec, who do I root for? And then I remember because we were on the field, and like I had my pitching coach like give me updates, and he was like, dude, like your boy Kingham has like a no hitter through 5. I was like, oh, what? That's crazy. And he's like, dude, your boy Kingham's got a no hitter through 6, and then 7. And I'm like, wait, what? So like, were you aware of what you were doing, or was it like you were just so focused and honed in on what you were trying to do that you didn't even notice?
Okay, I definitely knew. Like, I knew what was going on, but it really sank in like after the 3rd inning. So I was like, okay, just went through the lineup once, one full time. Nobody's reached yet. All right, man, it's real. Like, you're doing pretty good, but don't stop now. You know, don't let up. Keep on going. And so that's when the moment when I realized everything. And then every pitch after that, I was just like, all right, dude, don't lose it here. Don't lose it here. Just keep on going. Get this guy. Get this next pitch. It was the most mentally exhausting game I've ever pitched.
Oh,
First game in the big league, so your mind's already racing. Yeah, right. Your mind's already racing at the big league level. And then what's at stake is just like every pitch is just like, dude, dominate this pitch, execute it. It was just so much importance on each pitch that by the end of the game, dude, I was beat. So it was. I'll take that any day of the week for sure. That exhaustion, but it was cool, man, and it was just having my family there and everybody supporting me, dude. That meant the absolute world to me, and it was for sure one of the best days of my life.
What dude, no doubt. What was working for you? Because I know obviously like it's your big league debut, dude. Again, something that we always strive for, you know, the end goal really. And so you get there, and I'm sure like is it a different game, or are you able to kind of in the moment just pitch and like just focus on executing pitches, or was there a little bit of external distraction for you?
I wouldn't say there's any distraction at not that time. I pitched at the games that definitely there were like emotions that you kind of get caught up in, or additional stressors that take you off your game. But at that game, I don't know what it was. Man. I was rolling. Everything was working for me, dude. Like every pitch I would throw, it was where I wanted to go, the action I wanted it.
Yeah.
It was just one of those days where everything was clicking, dude.
Yeah.
Like my breaking balls for strikes that I wanted perfect bottom of the zone for strikes. Then my 0-2 breaking balls, I could put it right where I wanted. I was bouncing. Changeups, I was throwing right on right changeups way to a righty for strikes. Like dude, when I'm doing that, that's how I know I'm good. Like I'm good that day. Like I'm in the right spot. So everything was just working, man. It literally just felt like not a video game. I don't want to say in that like a cocky way like that.
Oh,
but
save it, pal, dude. Come on.
It felt like everything was good, man. It was like one of those bullpens, where you're going like, dude, I was nails that bullpen, but it happened in a game. Like everything was clicking and yeah, and it doesn't help, dude. It doesn't hurt when you're throwing from the windup the whole time too. So like, and I love the windup. I'm a finesse guy, you know that.
I like to look a little sexied guy.
So yeah, I mean, I was definitely, I mean, it's hard to not, but I was feeling myself and I was getting really confident, and that helped me. I think that propelled me and to keep having success. And I didn't have any doubt. Whatever pitch I threw, I knew it was the right pitch. Didn't matter. So that just kind of made it one less thing to worry about when I was out there pitching.
Yeah, absolutely. I little side note is I still have your overhead mechanics like down to a T. I can still.
Oh yeah,
replicate.
you
don't go over the head anymore though, right?
Dude, I banged it this year,
bro.
Yeah.
You banged it and then you came back to it and then you banged it. Like, what's the deal? Why is that such a love-hate relationship, man?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a big feel guy, and
if it's not feeling right, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. No, if something smells fishy in Denmark, step off. I'm not feeling it. I just yelled at my roommate because that's what our coach always says. Ray Searage.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So yeah, dude, I'm a big feel guy. This offseason, I threw a bunch of bullpens from the stretch.
Okay.
And I just started out from the stretch, just simplify things, and then towards the end of the offseason, when I started like getting closer to spring training, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on some windup now. And I started going over, and I'm like, it feels forced. I didn't like it, and then I just kind of stopped doing it. And I go, this is where it's at right now. It might come back.
Yeah.
It might not. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
No one
yeah.
does.
So, but I feel good where I'm at without it. So I'm gonna ride this out.
Speaking of where you're at, we'll wrap this show up. I want to be respectful of your time, but the last thing I want to dive into, man, is like what are your 2019 goals? Like you're we don't have to take like the team approach. I know you're a big team guy and you'd like to talk about the team winning and whatnot, but I want to dive into like your personal goals for yourself, moving forward into 2019.
Yeah, I mean, let's be everybody's number one goal: win the World Series. That's up there.
You would go team route. You would.
I personally, I want to be a World Series champion too.
I just want a ring. That's selfish.
I want to freaking hold that trophy up, dude. I want to be dancing on the field, the last team standing, dude. Yeah. That's number one goal. That'll be my goal every year I play the game of baseball. There's a reason why they have a World Series. There's only one winner. And winning is cool. Losing sucks. So
write that down.
That being said, personally, I don't have any specific goals, dude. Stay healthy is like the obvious one after going through the rehab stuff. Stay healthy, be durable. Trust that your work in the off season sets you up for success during the season, but don't give up. Don't think that you've arrived. I don't think that is whatever you did in the offseason is enough. I don't put like numbers goals or stats goals on me other than innings. I think 200 innings would be sexy. Mm-hmm. That you can't belittle a workworkhorse. You know what I mean? He's not that good. Yeah, but he gave you 220 innings.
Yeah. Your values.
Yeah. There, so you can't undervalue that. So that'd be cool, man. I want to pitch every fifth day. If I'm in the starting rotation, I want to pitch every fifth day. I want to go wire to wire from the first start to the 33rd start. If I have 33 starts that year, mm-hmm. And the only way to do that is just to be healthy and be consistent So I think that's my number one goal this year, dude.
Are you? Do you mind if you kind of like? Again, I don't want to like get super personal, but I'm curious as far as like what's going on with you right now. Like, what's it kind of looking like for you? Where like to start the season? I know there's like obviously like every spring training, there's a bunch of speculation as far as where people are going, and it's a big fiasco. And I know players try not to put as much weight into that. But what's it looking like, man, for you? And if you don't have an answer, like you don't have to kind of say it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing solidified yet. I went into the off season knowing they set us down. Hey, you there's no secret. You're at options. You need to make the team this year.
I didn't even think about that. You're out of options.
Yeah. So I'm out of options. So I need to make the team, or else some shakeup's going to happen.
Yeah.
But they said, we see you as a starter, but there's competition there. Shoot, Brault is my main competition. He's my roommate this spring training.
Yeah.
So
he's fighting
for a starting spot too, and then and then we signed some guys too. I mean, so every year there's always competition.
Yeah.
This is no different than any other spring training. It's just on a much higher level. It's more publicized. Even with spring training going in to 2013 with when we went to Bradenton.
Yeah.
Hi, dude, there was competition. I wanted that opening day spot.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just it may be a different level, a different. You compete for something not as like drastic as a big league rotation spot,
right? But
at the same time, dude, this is nothing new. So that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for a spot. If they see me in the bullpen, if I don't get it, then that's where I'll head. But if not, then things get shaken up, and we'll see what happens with me. So there's nothing solidified yet. I'm going out there every day and doing what I can. I'm pitching tomorrow against the Red Sox, so I'm going to see, we'll see how that goes, and then we'll just take it one day at a time, dude. So there's really you can't look too far ahead into what might happen.
No doubt, man. Well, like I said, I want to be respectful of your time, dude. Thank you so much for coming on the show. About freaking time, by the way.
Man, dude, I had a good time, man. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. I apologize if I think I said like 45 minutes, but I apologize for going over. But, dude, best of luck to you tomorrow, man. And then moving forward, I know you're going to put everything you freaking got into this, dude. And it was great catching up with you. What else do I have? I don't know if I have anything else for you, but I'll sign you off.
You forgot the Cookies Fortune.
You forgot. You almost said it right. You almost forgot the Cookies Fortune, dude.
The Cookies Fortune, dude.
And the wontons, and that'll do it.
Dude, egg drop soup.
And then. All right. Shoot, man. We got to get off. I'll sign you off the air, man. But thanks again for coming on. And, yeah, dude, you're hot.
Absolutely, man. Hey, anytime, dude. Thanks for having me. Hope fans enjoyed it, dude. I had a blast doing it. So thank you.
Absolutely, man. All right, guys, another episode of The Robbie Rowe Show in the books. Appreciate Nick coming on. If you guys made it this far because I just re-listened to a lot of that, and I apologize because there was a lot of stuff going on there that was probably totally over your guys' head, but hopefully you got some good nuggets from that. I do, in all seriousness, he does have a really good story to tell. He's been through a lot. He's succeeded. He's failed. He's got a lot of good insights, so I hope you guys got something from that as far as like from the informational side. Informational? Is that a word? I don't know. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the good. I will link all that in the show notes for you guys to click over there and follow me in my journey and what I'm kind of producing for you guys. Much love to you all, and we'll see you next time. See you.